All right, guys, let's be real for a minute. You've got the right to be comfortable in whatever you're wearing, no matter what you're doing. That is where Public Rec comes in. Their pants are designed to be as comfortable as your favorite sweats, but way more stylish. We're talking super soft fabric, no stiff seams, and enough stretch. That's what allows you to keep up with no matter what your day throws at you. And you want to know my personal favorite part about Public Rec? Generally, you only get to choose between small, medium, large, extra large sizes. With Public Rec, you select the exact width and length that you need. These will be your best fitting pants. Public Rec not only has the best fitting pants ever made, but they have a huge selection of high quality, everyday, premium styles. You can revamp your entire wardrobe with their polos, shorts, and hoodies. So this February, I encourage you to step up your comfort game with Public Rec. You know, it's about time that you treat yourself. For a limited time, all my listeners can get 20% off their order at publicrec.com by simply using code SONNEN. When you get there, tell them Chael sent you. Oh, this just in. Bad news. Breaking news, bad news. Dan Hooker is out. The fight with Gaethje. And what an incredible fight. I mean, let that sink in for a minute. Dan Hooker is not going to be fighting Justin Gaethje, but let that sink in. Because at some part through letting that sink in, you're going to have the realization that Dan Hooker never fought Justin Gaethje. How? How in the world did those two stay apart? And the conspiracy theorists are the most fun at times like this, because if you were ever to book Conor McGregor, now it's very clear that Conor McGregor is never going to be in the octagon again. But we have the right to make money, speculate, and bounce ideas back and forth until that is officially stated by either Conor McGregor or by the UFC. I mean, you got to understand, and it's not like we're above it over here at Bad Guy Inc. The internet does not run on information. The internet is ran on speculation. So the conspiracy theorists are having a lot of fun, because who you could ever put Conor against, who you reasonably could ever even book Conor against, all got their hands tied to this fight, right? Like Gaethje Conor works all day long. Dan Hooker versus Conor is maybe the best idea and works all day long. Chandler versus Conor, I mean, they did a $27 million gate when that was the headliner. It works all day long, but when we give Chandler, and then what's disappointing about it? Well, what's disappointing about it is for all of those really good fights, it stops us from having the one that we really could make the most money with, which is Paddy the Baddy versus Conor McGregor. Like, Paddy the Baddy versus Conor is such a great idea and such a dream fight that nobody ever discussed it, because it was one of those things that was too good to be true. And quite frankly, it really was. You were never going to get Paddy and Conor in that ring together. And you were never going to get them in the ring together because Conor was too much, perception-wise, of an established veteran, and Paddy, perception-wise, of a young kid. For Paddy to have the kind of tenure required to be in there with Conor McGregor, so that it didn't appear to just be a squash match where the old guy is handing the torch to the new guy. That's exactly what it would be. But to avoid it having that appearance, we had to take Paddy the Baddy and make him a veteran, of which he will become as soon as he gets in the ring with a Michael Chandler, with a Dustin Poirier, or with a Dan Hooker. So this is where it's so interesting, right? Because the announcement of Chandler versus, and again, this is for the conspiracy theorists, but the announcement of Chandler versus Paddy the Baddy was effectively the nail in the coffin of the career of Conor McGregor. If Chandler comes off the board, there is nobody else that makes any kind of sense to put against Conor McGregor. And now all of a sudden that has changed, right? Not only has that changed, that's changed times two. We now have Justin Gaethje. And are these guys in line? No. He burned me. Open your eyes, you gave you bad advice. Now we have the Hangman, and we have Gaethje, both available. So, wouldn't you know, Patty the Batty reads the tea leaves, see what time it is, realizes two very likely opponents for Conor McGregor just became available in the breaking up of one fight, and now has stepped forward and said that he plans to beat Michael Chandler and steal the fight against Conor McGregor. Now, I'm not reporting any of those things to you because that is never going to happen and Conor is never going to fight again. But the fact that Patty just now said he's going to beat Chandler and steal the opportunity. Now, we know that's not true. Otherwise, it'd be Conor versus Charlie Olives. What's interesting about the claim is that Patty is able to recognize there's only so many things that you can do with Conor, even in the world of make-believeville, and you're not going to get any of them if you don't ask for them, and you're not going to get any of them if you keep Conor's name out of your mouth. It's got to be at the forefront. I like the idea. I'd even like to see it happen. I think that would be great fun to have Chandler and Patty versus each other with the winner to take on Conor. The problem with that becoming a reality is we did not just get this announcement. In fact, we didn't get an announcement even close. What spurred the comment that the winner of Patty and Chandler draws into Conor, what spurred the announcement was the announcement of a cancellation between Hooker and Gaethje. Isn't this sport interesting?